figures. And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show, and this is going to be episode 28. So I just want to apologize for starting late. I got off work actually on time today. I came home, I took a nap because my body was actually just completely destroyed. And then I just woke up late. That's pretty much it. It wasn't because I didn't want to do the show. It's because nothing else happened. I was just tired, came home and died, and then I now woke up. And then speaking of something dying at the box office, Joker 2 has apparently mega died at the box office. But I told you guys this. It did make a lot of money initially up front, so I had to wait on calling it an official flop. But don't worry, I have several Joker 2 videos coming that you guys really liked the first two I did. Don't worry. I'll be making more of those as we speak.
More people watching those videos than the actual movie itself.
That's probably true, honestly, because I saw the movie. I did. I will say this: there are things that I did enjoy, but the overall experience is not good. Like it's like my everyone knows I used to date Lennon, she's my ex. So I asked them, "Did you want to go see it?" And she brought her sister, and I know her sister for a long time. And then we're sitting next to each other, and she was like, "Hey, I like the first one." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." You know, I'm not listening because she's a girl. Their opinions are usually pretty bad on this stuff. Movie's over. She was like, "Damn, that's trash. I like the first one better." Dude, she don't know jack shit about what a good movie is, I would imagine. This is just some random 24-year-old broad, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like if she's telling you it's bad, yikes. I mean, she was telling me about a bunch of weird, nasty shit I was not interested in hearing, but, you know, for science purposes, I did not entertain those things, you know? So
well, I thought they probably thought you were going to see Sam.
They wanted to see Terrifier 3.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I was like, lady, I didn't watch any of those movies, honestly. The only Terrifier movie scene I saw was when he sawed that lady in half. It's the only thing I've ever seen from Terrifier. I haven't seen the actual first movie or the second one, honestly.
I saw the second one, and then I was like, I mean, it's basically like gore porn is for the most part, and I'm just not that big of a fan of it. Then I found out one of the stars is involved with the Church of Satan, and that was a whole rabbit hole and stuff like that. So I was like, I'll skip.
After I saw part of the first one, and I was like, nope, I really have just kind of lost faith in humanity that we are actually going to make this and put this out as consumable content. No.
Yeah, it's like, what's the like the joy? What's the draw? It's like, oh my god, people are being horribly tortured and mutilated. Like, is that your thing? Like, I mean, we're basically like one step away from like 4chan, like, you know, black web videos at this point. So.
Yeah, that's my thing, is that like I like horror movies. I like all forms of them. The biggest ones I'm not a fan of is like the demonic possession ones. Not because I'm scared at all or anything like that. It's I don't know. The demonic possession ones really just don't kind of get me to watch a horror movie. Like the Conjuring universe, outside of like maybe the first one. I saw the first one back in the day when it
I mean, in all honesty, if you want to see demon possession, all you gotta do is just walk on the streets of Philadelphia and Crack Road. I mean, you'll see a whole bunch of demons over there.
Like, I'll be honest here. Anything that's
San Francisco,
like for me, when it comes to like demonic possession movies, anything that's not The Exorcist is basically a ripoff. If we're being honest here, they're all the same. They have the same beats, the story's the same. Honestly, it's like, oh well, I'm sad and depressed. My mom died. I need to open this book to have this demon come out and make me be able to talk to her. Demon becomes villain and possesses that person and gets them to kill people. It's like, that's been the plot of these for like forever.
I mean, I don't mind like creative like monster movies. Like, you know, monster movies are usually pretty good if you have a creative mind like behind it and you have like the right team put it together. Like The Thing, it's still probably like the greatest horror movie of all time if you ask me.
Like, I wouldn't call that like demonic possession though, you know?
No, I said monster movie. I wasn't talking about like
yeah.
And then like you have the slasher genre is kind of dead. I mean, you know, there's no genuine the whole thing with the slasher genre is like it lived in a time period where there wasn't just like mass shootings every 3 weeks. And now it's like, you know, the whole lore of like, oh my god, this person's getting like stabbed up. It's like, okay, you can get that on like World Star Hip Hop now. It's like there's no real connection to it anymore. Then like I said, your only next logical step is to Terrifier. I'm just gonna like rip some kids' eyeballs out and be like, oh, this is amazing. It's like, and that's apparently what I heard from people who have seen the third one. It's like now they're just killing kids now and mutilating children. It's like, oh, really? Like that's what we're doing now? It's
like, the thing is, what's a concept? I mean, and I get why people like horror movies. I genuinely do. I actually like the genre, but I'm not going to go rush to see that, knowing that I can probably see something better than that I already haven't seen already. There's probably way better movies that do that already now in the horror genre that people have probably not even watched yet. I mean, I'm not opposed to watching those. It's just like, it's like the same thing. You know, it's a demonic possessed clown, probably dude, and he just kills people. It's like, haven't we seen this like 1,000 times already? It's kind of like,
And I mean, like, here's the thing: if you're gonna go to the level of killing kids and killing like animals, there should be a reason like behind it. Like, there should be a perfect example of this would be like if you're gonna kill a dog, then make it be the origin story of John Wick, right? So where you understand that this is the level that they've taken it to push him over the edge. Or another great example is like in the film Sicario. If you guys haven't seen Sicario, great movie. At the very end, the guy he's standing at the dinner table of the cartel leader who ordered the hit on his family, right? And at the very end, he literally kills all his family, including the kids, in front of him, and then orders him to like take another bite of his meal before killing him too, right? But there was a story behind it. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, he just decided to kill a bunch of kids with a monster. It was like he literally had his like child violently murdered, and it was basically payback for what he did. It's like there's got to be a rhyme and a reason to do stuff like that. When you're just doing it for attention and shock value, you can just throw all that stuff out the window because like, it means nothing.
Like a Revenge. It was this like rape revenge horror movie where basically this girl was on a trip with this guy being a whore, gets raped by one of his associates, and then they try to kill her because obviously she would leak that out that he did that to her. But then she turned into this like hero character in the movie where they turned her not just from like this like, oh, I got raped, now I'm feeling sorry for myself. No, based off her situation, she got impaled by a tree, somehow survived, and then ended up killing all of them. It's like, at least if you're gonna do those kind of things, at least make it like worthwhile watching. Like, oh, the main character can fight back now because he's now stronger than the villain. But they're always just the same
I Spit
shit.
on Your Grave?
No, actually, Revenge is actually pretty good. That was one that I recommend. I saw I Spit on Your Grave. I saw all of those. I didn't like the second one was weird, where they were implying like sex trafficking. That was kind of weird. But yeah, do it like that too. I've seen those. Do it that way too. Make him like basically an anti-hero, I guess, because a hero wouldn't kill people. But you guys know what I'm trying to say, right? Try to change it up every once in a while. It's just kind of like the same shit. So, like I said, people, if that's your kind of thing for movies are all subjective. You can like what you like. I'm not saying I'm not gonna check them out, but like, is it must see movie right now? It's like, it's probably other stuff I can rather watch.
I don't know. For me, I'm just not a big horror fan. Horror. Again, I'm not Gary Beekler. I know how to say horror. But that's just a genre that I just never got into. I don't know why. I've just never piqued my interest. Never really seen any movie that really is like any that I really want to see. So I'll stick to my sci-fi and my fantasy and my dramas and action films.
Were you gonna go see Megalopolis, or as I say, Megaflopolis?
No, because I want to continue to have it be a flop. Granted, my couple bucks is not going to put it over that marker in any kind of way, but still.
He's like, nah, this beef is generational. We're taking this one to a grave. like I'm trying to circle back here to like a few horror movies that actually has given pretty solid like a review to. And
you like the Happy Death Day movies, I remember.
I did actually like those, but those were more kind of like horror comedy. Yeah. So it was like it was far more entertainment value out of those films because they kind of mixed up the genres a lot. So that one's actually a really good series. Well, Maxine, go ahead.
I was gonna say now if it's horror and comedy mixed together, that I actually don't mind because I like comedies. So I will take in the horror aspect if it is a mixture of comedy and horror.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it gets to a certain point, like in that movie, when she realizes that she can't die. It's like the next thing she does, she gets naked and then jumps off of a building, like flipping the bird on her way down before she goes back to the next day. Like stuff, little things like that are actually like pretty entertaining. I'm trying to think of like a legitimate horror film for them this year. It's like the Maxine like Pearl series is actually pretty good. So if you guys seen like the X Pearl and Maxine, those films are pretty solid. So I put those ones over. Abigail's kind of another horror comedy, which was pretty entertaining. That was earlier this year. I mean, I'm really trying to like think back to something that I can genuinely point to as like a straight up horror movie that I would like that I can put over. But man, it's been a while since we've seen one of those. I think the last generally good one, or like really really good one, would be maybe Don't Breathe. If you guys seen that movie from
I've seen the first
2016,
one. That was really good.
the first one's really really good,
First one's really good. Yeah.
and you can argue that it's kind of more of like a thriller, but it does have a lot of horror elements.
To it, yeah, especially with the ending, the reveal. Yeah, it's definitely a horror on that point. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, outside of that, horror is kind of
people liked Hereditary, right? They liked Hereditary.
Hereditary was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, the ending, it's one of those ones you're either gonna go with it or you're not. But I think overall it was pretty solid. So I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a few gems I could throw out there. A Quiet Place has actually been a pretty good one too. If you talk about like kind of like a straight up, don't make any noise or a giant monster is going to come and mutilate you. One, now the first two are really really good. The third one,
I haven't seen the third one, but the first two are good. I'll say those are pretty solid movies overall.
Yeah, I mean, the third one, it's like you get rid of Emily Blunt, and it's like, why are we even doing this movie? And like, it literally makes no sense whatsoever. So.
And you really feel the effects of John Krasinski not being there in that second one. It is pretty noticeable. His performance is not there, but everyone else does a pretty good job. I don't know if Cillian Murphy is a decent replacement for him, but I did enjoy it. I watched in the theaters. I actually enjoyed Quiet Place Part 2. That was pretty good.
Yeah. And I say, I don't know. It just feels like all the other ones kind of have some semblance of like a horror element to it. Because I think I told you guys last time we were on this show. Did you guys see a movie called Yummy? It came out in like 2019, and the whole setup to the film is that a girl is going to go get a breast reduction surgery, right, at some like plastic surgery hotel, wherever the case is, and literally a zombie apocalypse happens as she's like on the operating table. So everyone in the entire hospital is trapped by zombies, and it's like over the top. It's not like over the top like gory, but it is over the top like kind of ridiculous. It's probably the best way to say it. Like it's more of like the absurdity of horror than anything else.
Yeah, that seems I mean, horror, some horror though I do have watched in the past that I do enjoy a little bit more is when it's an obvious B movie. When it's the obvious, because at that point I see it less as a horror film, more as a comedy in itself because of just how much of a joke it truly is.
Yep. Oh, here's another one that I'll actually say is really good, and for all the wrong reasons. There's a movie called Wish Upon with Joey King. Have you guys ever heard of this movie?
May now.
I remember this because it was a screening night like several years ago. It's supposed to be a horror movie. If you look at the title, it's a scary movie. But it's about Zoe King gets this like ancient Chinese curse box where every time you make a wish, it's like something bad happens to you and the person you make the wish on. It was supposed to be a scary movie. It was so unintentionally hilarious. People were laughing like halfway during the screening, and it's like it's not supposed to be a comedy at all, but it just gets to a point where it's just so ridiculous. Like if you guys have seen my Friday night movie show, there's the scene in my intro where she gets hit by a car and she bounces from one car to the windshield of another car. That's from that movie. That's the movie that it's from. No. Like it was like there's no way they fumbled the genre this badly, not even by choice.
At this point, the director and producer should just really push into it, going, "Yeah, we know it's terrible. Yeah, so people are laughing at it. Hey, you want to know what?
That was totally our intention to make a comedy. Yeah. You guys didn't realize that." So here's something that's not too surprising. Young Turks producer Anna Kasparian has now officially publicly admitted that she has left the Democratic Party. And it's because she no longer feels safe living in Los Angeles after she was molested by a homeless man with an erection in LA. And then she said that her fellow liberals then shamed her for being fearful because she no longer feels safe in her city and in her state. That she began to realize was like, well, if I get attacked by homeless people and I'm a woman and the left is shaming me and attacking me, maybe am I the baddie here? Have I been the bad person this whole time? So this is her little video talking about why she left the left-wing party.
Was this from the Julian Michaels?
It was. Yeah, Julian Michaels podcast. Yeah. Another person who claims to have left the left because they've gotten a little too insane.
Around March, I was walking my dog. It was not quite dark yet, but the sun was setting. As I'm walking my dog, I see these two guys that were just kind of like moving around weirdly. They seemed kind of manic.
Yeah, they were drug addicts. Addicts who are possibly demon possessed, but that's a whole other conversation. Oh, come on, X. What are we doing here?
You know, they seemed kind of manic, and their clothes were tattered. So I knew.
Give me a second, because X video here is acting like a retard, so I gotta refresh this.
Do you have MSK internet?
Thanks, Elon Musk. You're doing great there. All right, then let's try this one more time. Maybe this will work this time. There we go.
Living
There we go.
in LA, I mean, there's homeless people everywhere, right? So I've never had problems. I didn't think anything of it. But as I was bending down to pick up my dog's mess, one of the guys like grabs me by my hips, and he had an erection.
Oh God.
And just starts like humping me. And I didn't know what to do. Like I was terrified. I didn't have a weapon on me.
Yep.
Like I had no way of defending myself. I didn't know how far.
Go ahead.
Notice how she doesn't say he's black. I can automatically tell that person was black.
The story gets worse. So trust
if
me,
that person was white, I guarantee if that person was white, she would say who it was. Oh God!
And she probably forgot her rape whistle at home, so that didn't help either.
oh, it gets worse.
Far it was gonna go, because it's two guys. I'm by myself with my little dog. It was
maybe if you had a big dog, you could stick the big dog on the homeless man. You ever think about that?
Yeah,
they're called German Shepherds. Those are pretty good.
Those are Rottweilers, and those things are dangerous as fuck.
Not as dangerous as the pit bulls, though. The pit bulls are good. Well, if you want to have your 8-year-old be ripped apart, but that's
like one of the most terrifying things ever, because I'm pretty good at defending myself. In that moment, I just knew there was no option.
No way.
Yeah. And luckily, he stopped, and they just laughed at me and walked away as they were laughing at me. And so there was the fear, and then the humiliation, and weirdly shame. Like I felt ashamed for some reason.
I just want to point this out. Now, you can say that, you feel bad for this woman, and I'm not saying that she deserves this. However, we have to keep this in context here. This woman is literally a victim of the city and the policies that she has supported her entire adult life.
Yep.
She's in Los Angeles, her city, amongst people who think and vote exactly like her, living with the policies that she has openly supported and voted for her entire adult life. And now it literally led to her being dry humped by a homeless crackhead in the middle of the streets next to her little dog. So, connecting the dots here. That's all I'm saying.
And it was awful. And it was really taking a toll on my mental health, because I have to walk my dog, right? So at least 2 or 3 times a day, I'm going outside kind of scared. And so I opened up about this on the show, not really thinking much of it. And before I knew it, I'm starting to get these messages, and it's like really harsh stuff.
Messages.
And it's about.
And I do want to point this out too. Does anyone have any videos from around 2020 where Anna Kasparian was, supporting a lot of, the defund the police stuff, when people were complaining at that time period that their neighborhoods were no longer safe because of all the BLM defund the police stuff that was going on at the time, and her answer and her ridicule of those people at that time period, only for her to end up in the exact position that she was ridiculing 4 years earlier. So
how you are painting a picture of the homeless community. How could you be like this? These are your unhoused neighbors, and they need help. A few people accused me of being racist when I had never disclosed the race of the individuals who did this to me. And in fact, they were white. And so like when they started accusing me of being racist, I'm like, wait a minute. Why are you assuming that the people who did this?
Of course.
Oh my God, I'm the one that calls people racist. You can't use racism against me.
It's weird how she said it was dark, but she said they were white, and I'm like, I don't even think you would even know. Plus, what did she say? She was bent over.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. It's also crazy. You're Gina Carano. She said when she had started making comments about what had happened to her, she started to get the messages. It always starts with the messages like, hey, why are you doing this? Come on. Can't you fall in line?
This is how it always happens. It's always it's so many people, including myself at one point in time, it's you disagree on one issue. It's one issue where you're kind of like, I don't really know about this one, and then they just swarm on you. Like, how dare you step out of line with us? And then that's where it starts to snowball, because then you are going, it's like, what do you guys talk about? It's like, it's just this one issue that I don't. It started with me in 2015 when remember when after the Paris terrorist attacks happened, and everyone was all like, we need to let in all these people from Libya and Syria in because Donald Trump's a racist. He's going to do a Muslim ban. I was kind of like, okay, well, hold on. There are like actual terrorists like in that region here. Maybe we should at least, vet some of these people for just kicking down the door and letting them all open. And all of a sudden it was like a pack of hyenas. It's like, how dare you? And like, I've seen this happen time and time again. You step out of line with one issue and they'll just swarm at you. And then you have to start having a conversation. It's like, wow, are you guys the douchebag? Have I been the douchebag this whole time? Has it been me? Have I been the problem?
Hey, and I'll even say this. Maybe the guys were white. Maybe they were. But this is the problem that people like them don't ever understand. It's like a switch that'll never come on and the light bulb will never actually shine. It's because unless it directly happens to them, they just think that everyone else is just being mean to minorities or people of color. And it's like, there's just no way that these people can be taken seriously even after it happens to them, something like that, because I don't know if they're saying it to garner sympathy. We don't know if the story ever happened. That something else could have happened. She could be making it up because obviously women have been known to lie about things like this to get attention or at least fabricate the details of it, right? So, like, these are the same people that will be like, well, minorities aren't, the new illegal immigrants aren't doing all this crime. Okay, then why is crime going up then? Well, black people. It's like, and it's also crazy that she said her constituents, her associates said that, she was being racist because they even assumed they were black, like I did. Oh, Lord, keeping it real.
But again, it's an example that keeps happening of woke on woke crime or leftist on leftist crime. Because it's a cult. You step outside of the orthodoxy of the leftist cult by even having one slight opinion or anything that threatens their theology, then you're no longer part of the church. You're no longer part of their community.
Yep. And I want to play this real quick because this is a video from 4 years ago from Miss Anna Kasparian, where she was defending people who were criticizing those calling for the defunding of the police. Right now, keep in mind, we just heard her tell a horrifying story about how she was basically dry humped in Los Angeles in broad daylight by a couple of white homeless men who were probably on crack. And here's what she was saying several years ago when the issue was about the safety in people's neighborhoods and especially defunding the police.
Very tiny group of people who call to abolish the police. That is not an actual movement. And the call to defund the police might sound like a very simplistic way of handling this. And I get it. And it's also vulnerable to misinterpretation and all of that. But when you consider the fact that defunding the police would just simply take some of the funding that the police departments have been given throughout the years and divert some of that funding to actual social services that are supposed to be handling certain issues within the community, then it makes a lot of sense. So for instance, cops are asked to do all sorts of things that they're just not experts in carrying out. They are not mental health professionals. Clearly, they're not mental health professionals. So instead of funding mental health in our communities, we're increasing the budgets for local cops. And it doesn't make any sense, right?
Now, let me ask you this, Anna. When that homeless guy with the boner was dry humping you in the middle of the street, do you think at that moment you would have rather had just a few more cops patrolling the neighborhood just in case, they may have seen something, could have possibly intervened? Do you think that was possibly something that you could have supported at the time that this horrific event was happening to you? Like, do you kind of get where this is going?
It in the end, it's still just, it amazes me because it was the same during BLM riots. The whole point, you had the journalists that were out there cheering on what was going on until it started showing up at their doorstep. Then they started having a problem with it. They didn't mind that they were destroying actual black, brown, and places of colors businesses.
Yeah.
They didn't have a problem with that until it
Remember,
started encroaching on them.
all the celebrities in 2020 were donating to free all the people who are being arrested who were committing all the crimes, and 2 years later they all want to vote for a new mayor because, oh my god, LA is now getting bad and I can't go to Whole Foods without getting attacked at another grocery store. And now people are following home because they know I'm a celebrity and I have money and they want to go and rob me at my place, and now I no longer feel safe. So it's like, yeah, it's almost as if you've come to the same realization that all the other people had came to several years earlier. While you were calling them the racists and the blah blah blahs and the blah blah blahs, it's like, do you ever come to the realization? Like, I get it that she understands that, oh no, the left has gone too far. Did you ever come to the realization that you, in fact, were part of the problem for the last several years? That there's a little thing called reaping what you sow, and unfortunately, you've now sowed what you reaped. Has that realization come to her head yet, or is she still thinking in her mind, well, no, I was the normal one and everyone else got crazy?
I think the second choice there. She'd still I think that she thinks she's still probably right with her policies and beliefs, but now thinks that everyone else has just gone too far. So she's kind of planted her feet down of where she thinks is tolerated, and now she sees the left going even further away from her, and now she's going, oh, maybe they aren't so good. So she's, I don't think it's the same thing when people are moving out of California and moving to red states. While they're telling them, it's like, okay, you want to come to Texas, leave your California policies behind.
Yeah. Now next step, what's the next step for Anna? She's gonna, oh, I can no longer be in California anymore. It's not safe. So I'm gonna move to Austin. Texas.
Yeah.
Which is basically the next best thing to California.
Oh, Jimmy Palmiotti, Marvel DC comic book artist that I had on my Iron Man podcast back when it was just exclusive to Rumble. He is like, he didn't like Trump, obviously, for certain reasons he had pointed out on like Twitter or whatever, because of like some clips he basically retweeted. And then John's Longbox asked him, hey man, where do you live? He was like, I live in Florida. He was from New York originally. Keep in mind this too. It's crazy how people that think like Jimmy will not live in those places that they claim are being mean to like minority people, but will live in places like Austin, Texas, Miami, Florida. Just pointing out, so it's not a coincidence that constantly happens. You don't see them move to like Seattle and Utah.
Wait. And I learned recently that to call Detroit, talk about Detroit and turning America into like Detroit or other Democrat ran cities is to automatically be racist.
Yeah. How
dare you? I found that out today.
And it's like, here's the other thing too. Has Anna come to the realization that, she's like, oh my god, why are all these people like who I used to be associated with attacking me and calling me crazy? I'm not crazy. It's like, Anna, have you come to the realization that perhaps that's exactly what you do when Dave Rubin left the Young Turks several years ago? And you literally did the exact same thing when he became a libertarian, and you were still basically throwing pots and pans on his way out the door. Like, do you now see, like I said, that you are in fact part of the problem? It's the same thing with like Bill Maher. Like, Bill Maher does these like monologues where he talks about, how the left has gone out of control. It's like, bro, you were part of you're the reason why we're here. Like, you for many, many years empowered all of these people until it no longer benefited you. You were the one saying all the things. Like, they still haven't come to the realization. It's like, we're seeing the realization of all the policies that you guys have supported up to this point. Like, you did your little curved out utopia. This is exactly what it is.
I will say a lot of those that are now leaving the left, and I'm not talking about just your average voter. I'm talking about bigger names that have made their careers on supporting these left-wing ideas, to come and decide to, let's say, move and shift, are now trying to wash their hands of the decisions they had made in the past that put them in that situation. They're trying to absolve themselves of those choices. Like, no, you need to own them. You supported this stuff. Now, what was, in Anna's case, it was the assault. The whole point is what was your come to this side event? And on top of that, I'm not going to take it fully seriously until they start going, you want to know what? Defund the police. That was a bad move. I regret even going along with it, and start actually having a little bit more clarity in the policies that they were supporting and defending when they make that transition away from the left. Because if they don't, then it's a show.
Yep. It's the whole like, hey guys, I'm on your side now. It's like, you got a little bit, yeah.
I don't know. Like,
hey, fellow conservatives.
Yeah, it's like that thing where, and people know me, I'm not even a conservative myself. I'm more like more of a black guy.
You're more of a
they would call me a black guy. I would say this. A lot of people could switch sides. I'm not opposed to that, but the distinct, fast approach of it always throws me off. Like someone like that who's very stern and confidently talking about certain things like defund the police. After a situation like that happens to her, she's like, oh, you know what? Maybe your side really isn't all that bad. Isn't that what I imagine people told you that? She just wasn't listening because nothing happened to her, right? It's only when something like that happens to them that they change. And it's like, so you're only gonna have your mindset changed if an actual like serious potential grape threat happens to you. It's like, then what good are you? Honestly, you're trash. Good Lord.
That is part of the reason why I have such a problem with those that are shifting. It's like, fine, you can start shifting, but show why you're shifting. Actually come out and talk against what you have stood for in the past. Otherwise, it is just a show. That's another reason. In her case specifically, it does make me kind of wonder overall how much she actually believed the things she was saying, or was she saying it for a paycheck, which would be in line with the Democrats. They just say what they need to get paid.
And then there's another part of this too. It's just like, people like her, like this even goes back to just like 2020. It's like I remember Anna Kasparian back in like 2009, let's just say there, where the time period where the Young Turks were all in on, oh yeah, America's becoming less Christian and it's great. I'm glad it's taking us so long to get to this point, but yeah, people are walking away from Christianity and the Bible, and it's amazing. It's like, okay, well, about 15 years ago since you've made that statement, can you say that California, the place that you've called home objectively, with all the people who think just like you, has gotten better or worse as a result of the own policy that you supported, right? Because like I said, these people, they think that, oh, it's the wokeism that's bad. It's not really like the Democrat policies or like any of the stuff that I really support as bad. It's the wokies. They've gone crazy. It's like, no, this is essentially the end result of people who you have rallied around to support your policies for 2 decades. And now they've gone so militant that you're no longer, extreme enough for them anymore. So now you're essentially getting attacked by your own monster that you created. That's what's happening.
No, society. No, that's because woke, that wasn't real woke. They'll do woke right the next time. That wasn't real woke.
And then they'll go on and be like, oh, but I'm gay and I'm married to a woman and I have 2 African babies. It's like, I should be on your guys' side. It's like, oh, you guys have turned on me. Something must be wrong with you. And it's just like, oh my God, like you guys just don't.
Well, speaking of a person that started playing more into race politics earlier this week, Mr. former President Barack Obama decided to weigh in on basically, because there was actually several studies that came out earlier in the week. Basically, long story short, Kamala Harris is struggling to gain the black male voter, specifically young black male voter, actually. And then Obama was like, hey, I'll just start chiming in when I'm at Pennsylvania. It's like, what? It's crazy. At one point, I don't think it is now, but at one point, he had the most followers on Twitter ever for a long time. I think he only got beaten by like someone else eventually. But that's crazy how this person basically has, I don't know, I don't really understand what he ever did good as president, honestly. All I remember was just that he did Obamacare and people only really voted for him because he was black. They didn't really know what his policies were. It's like, well, black man will be better than all these white guys we had in there. It's like, why? Well, because he's black. And it's like, okay, well.
Here's the thing. It's like, back in 2008, the world was so naive and deceived to a point that we thought that, well, if we just all rally around Barack Obama, you know what, we can finally end racism in the United States of America, because the one thing that everyone said would never happen will finally happen. We will have a black president, and we can all hold hands and sing kumbaya. We don't have to worry about talking about the Watts riots or the Rodney King situation and OJ. We've healed all those wounds because Barack Obama is president, and now everything's going to be a-okay. And then somehow after 8 years of Barack Obama, we ended up more divided than we were when we started this whole thing in 2008. And it's somehow only gotten worse since then. But they want to say that, oh, you're the problem. You guys are the ones who became racist all of a sudden because you couldn't handle our black president.
Mr. Hat, what's up, man? And
now my grandparents, may they rest in peace, ended up, I talked to them, and they ended up supporting and voting for Barack Obama. And that, in the end, I tried to talk to him to find out why are you voting for Barack Obama? And it literally came down to, almost without saying it, is we don't want to be looked at as being racist for not voting for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the whole race baiting, that they themselves right there will race bait somebody. And the reason why I told people that Kamala Harris would be their nominee this year is because this whole administration with Biden has all been about pushing women. Remember, they invited a troon to the White House, and the person showed off their tits at the White House. You people have been all this degenerate shit. They hang a pride flag at the White House, people. I knew they were going to endorse a woman. They've been all about pushing women are strong and women are nurturing and caring and can change the country. We just need a woman leader. I'm just saying right now, if you want a woman as a president, you're a fucking pussy. You're gay as fuck. Who the fuck wants a woman in charge of them? Like, I got stop being gay.
I gotta ask, are his ears getting bigger?
Hello?
What? Every year, it seems like his ears.
Am I the only one that sees the penis on his chest? Is that just me?
God. Hey, man, it must have been all that flaming gay sex he was having with that one random white guy that Tucker Carlson brought on his show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that and his personal chef that wound up drowning.
Oh yeah, I wonder what dirt he had on Obama for him to just end up drowning. But that's probably a reason why the FBI had to raid the home of P. Diddy, because who knows who was on those tapes at those Diddy parties? Who knows who had connections to Diddy, right? But certainly not this guy. Like, you can't find a single picture or video on the internet of P. Diddy and Barack Obama together. So you know that they were never a thing.
And the good news is that you have candidates to vote for in this election that demonstrate that kind of character.
Yep.
Who know what real strength looks like.
Can you pause it there just for a second? I love how, especially when it gets to like election time, Barack Obama pulls out like his black preacher voice, like he's talking to his congregation. Like, all he's waiting for is just like the organ player to just start playing some tunes, like while he's talking in the background.
Example.
That's a meme in itself.
Lead this country better than they found it. So, Pennsylvania, that is the choice in this election. It's not.
Hallelujah.
On the ballot.
No, I said the Lord. No, I said the Lord. No, I said. No, I said. No, y'all ain't hearing me. I said the
Lord. And it is about character.
Kamala Harris has Kamala has none of that. You know how bad her character is? That 60-minute interview where we were EFAPing clips out of in last Tuesday's show, apparently one of them was so edited they couldn't even put out her real response because it was so beyond worse than the edited one. I don't even know what the unedited one was.
In all honesty, Kamala Harris might actually be worse than Hillary Clinton on the sole basis that at least people pretended to like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, you want to know what? You can see how much the Democrats are currently panicking, even though supposed the polls that are cooked are really kind of showing that it's a neck and neck race. But internal polling, you can tell the internal polling is not showing very good signs. I think internal polling is starting to show that, we're in serious trouble, that we may not be able to play with the election because it's going to be so much of a blowout.
Yeah, it's not like one of those situations where it's like, hey, look, we can't do the 4 a.m. Midnight ballots anymore. So it's going to be hard to flip 9 states by using that trick that we got away with 4 years ago. So you wonder why there's been not one but 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump since this election has begun. So it's weird, right?
Also, I know how a bunch of gay people on their side like this guy now. I remember when this guy was running, this guy didn't even actually advocate for gay rights. He was actually against it initially when he was running. It's only when he became president.
That's when we were all pretending to be moderate. So it's like you go back to 2008, and people were like, "Do you support gay marriage?" It's like, no, like gay. I don't really support gay marriage. And then all of a sudden, it's like, let the homos be gay. And bake the cake, you bigot.
So whether this election is making you feel excited or scared or hopeful or
indifferent
or anything in between, do not just sit back and hope for the best. Get off your couch and vote.
Okay, that I can agree with to some degree. Yeah, actually go out and vote, because people always do that thing of like, well, I was just hoping for the best. No, he is right about that. Literally go out and put your money where your mouth is. Actually vote, because this is what I mean. It's always up in the air what is the most important election of our time. But I will say the country went to massive shit from 2020 to 2024. So I would say go out and vote this time around. Do you want them to run the country for another 4 years? Well, this is how it looks in 4 years.
Actually, it'd
right
be
now.
8 years, because if Kamala wins, then she'll have an 8-year span.
And this is why I have absolutely no sympathy for those that voted for Biden. Even if they were doing it just to go against Trump and had no idea what Biden stood for, I don't fucking care.
He said it
you
on
voted
stage,
for this. You voted for this shit.
Yeah,
voted for this shit.
People, like, I remember in 2020, people turned the presidential election into some sort of like popularity contest. Well, I just can't vote for Trump because I'll choose Biden because he's the lesser of 2 evils. You sound retarded when you talk like that. I'm just pointing out
who's the biggest retard in this entire election cycle. Ron DeSantis, because Ron DeSantis had absolutely no reason to try to run for president this year. Nope. The DNC, the RNC convinced them, "Oh no, you're our guy. We're done with Trump. So go out there." Imagine if he had just laid in the cut and just be like, you know what? Let Trump go again. I'll be the guy in 2028, and I'll literally have the strongest based off of that alone. He would have been so in the clear right now, but he had to listen to the party, and the party was like, "No, we're totally done with Trump. No more Trump." And then he just got absolutely raffle stomped.
Yeah, dude, I didn't mind Ron DeSantis or Vivek when they were talking. I thought they looked pretty polished candidates, but yeah, Ron DeSantis trying to run was absolutely stupid when Trump got into the mix.
Because for one thing, everyone could see, everyone he was partnering up with and everyone that was involved in his campaign were the establishment.
Yep.
Yeah, no, you're not going to get the support.
Well, not only that, it was like, if Trump decides to run again, he's going to be the guy. So it's like, this isn't even like your year to even try this. It's like, you still got another 4 years to be the governor of Florida, and everyone likes you as the governor of Florida. So just spend another 4 years being the most liked governor in the country, and then have your turn in 2028. Well, you no longer have to worry about Trump being in the picture anymore.
I remember when people tried to basically breathe Tucker Carlson to being a vice president. It's like, guys, like, come on, shut up, stop it, it's not happening. I like Tucker, I do, but like vice president, get the fuck out of here. Holy shit.
Put down your phone and vote. Grab your friends and family and vote. Vote for Kamala Harris.
Okay, okay, buddy, you lost me there. You had me on the other one, but you didn't have me with this.
As the next president of the United States. Vote for Tim Walz as the next vice president of the United States. Vote for
You're supposed to be helping Barack. That's not helping.
Vote for Tim Walz. We just saw that guy get raffle stomped by Trump's vice president, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
The guy got raffle stomped on live television from everybody. He couldn't even, bro, what are we doing?
He had legitimately a worse performance than Kamala Harris did in her.
And Kamala,
I was expecting him to start
help, I will say. But
I was expecting him to start pounding the lectern and say, "We will have a final solution to the conservative problem."
Mm-hmm.
God, man.
Jesus.
Give me 1 sec.
Please, Lord, give me the strength.
So apparently the sex bots are trending again, because the sex robots are now hitting the market, and people have already begun to basically divide like what they're going to do with their first sex robots. This guy says that he's going to jailbreak it and have him cooking pork chops because basically he just wants someone to be handy in the house. Like, that's not a bad idea. The other person says that he's going to have it run an OnlyFans account and take all the money, which technically it's not that dumb of an idea. People are that desperate.
Here was the other one. Give me one sec. Here was his other one. Oh God, like, oh, this guy. You buying these books, guys? You buying a Barack Obama book?
Hey, remember when Barack Obama was the producer of that Netflix movie that was all about causing a civil war and the elites hiding in the mountains that came out earlier this year? Now, that was a real film, by the way.
Society of Magical Negroes, right?
No. It was the one with Julia Roberts. It was
Yeah. I can't remember the fucking name, but I remember it. No one even talks about that anymore. It just apparently probably bombed so hard on Netflix, they don't even give a shit about it.
Leave the World Behind was about literally the government causing a false flag to incite a civil war by blaming China and all these other countries, and then they were literally all the elites in the world went and hid in their bunkers as everyone else started killing each other for the war of music. And guess who was the producer of that film? Mr. Barack Obama, and no one wanted to put two and two together about why that film just so happened to come out during an election year. Yeah, you'll probably have to recycle it because it's X.
I mean, one sec. Sorry about that, everyone.
Yeah, if Elon Musk spent less time, worshiping Baal and Moloch, he should probably fix his video player.
God, man. There we go. Okay, this should do it. One sec, volume's there. All right. Load, you piece of shit.
Did you refresh the entire tab?
I probably should.
You got to refresh your tab and then it'll start playing.
Oh my God. X Life, it's such buggy trash.
Oh, I do agree with you, Society, though. F the Mets.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm already out with baseball right now because the Final Four is the Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Guardians because we can't call them the Indians anymore. So it's like, all four of those teams can go suck a fat one if you ask me. So,
yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Real strength is about helping people who need it and standing up for those who can't always stand up for themselves.
Pause.
Obama, that would sound good in context right there, but you guys don't do that. That actually sounds amazing right there. Sounds great.
That first statement, okay. Then where the fuck is the Biden administration and Kamala Harris when it comes to the relief of the hurricanes?
Yeah, speaking of people who can't help themselves, Obama, have you guys ordered any pizza and hot dogs recently? I'm just looking for people who can't, defend themselves. Have you guys been ordering any food recently?
I haven't.
There's a deep fried reference for you guys. Go look that one up.
Want for our daughters and for our sons, and that is what I want to see in a president of the United States of America. And the good news is that you have candidates to vote for in this election that demonstrate that kind of character, who know what real strength looks like, who will set a good example and do the right thing and leave this country better than they found it.
I just don't get it. Then that's not them.
It's a question. How is Kamala Harris going to leave the country better than she found it when she's the sitting vice president of the United States right now?
Well, no one's ever answered that. On day one, she's going to fix these problems.
She could technically fix these problems right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and then their excuse is, well, she's only the vice president. She doesn't have any real power or anything like that. Like, really, she can't talk to the president.
It makes me wonder if Biden's out there trying to sabotage her campaign because he's been out there going, oh yeah, she's been fully involved. Oh yeah, she's involved with everything. I'm pretty much turned everything over to her.
Another thing about this dog and pony show called The Election, you notice that Biden has basically dropped off the face of the earth over the last several months, and he's the sitting president of the United States of America. And you've probably only seen him twice since this election has started.
That's not true. We've seen him many a times. Granted, they're all sitting on the beach.
Or in some kind of room somewhere.
When it comes to health care, you heard it in the debate. Donald Trump's got one answer. Ending the Affordable Care Act that 45 million people rely on. they-
It's not
Yeah,
that they
they're-
relied on it; it's that you forced them into buying in because they didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Well, you want to know what's amazing is that during the debate, they brought up that more people are signing up for healthcare because of it. It's like, yes, because during Trump's tenure in office, he suspended the fine.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Kamala and Joe got into office, they rescinded that, and everyone that does not have healthcare is paying the penalty again.
Wait. They're the ones that put in that if you don't have health care, you get penalized by the end of the year, right? Because I know under Trump, so federally they couldn't penalize you without health care. So it's basically just up to the state. But they made it so that if you didn't have health care at all, you would get penalized still.
It's not up to it's not up to the state. It was the federal. It went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they said no, it's not a penalty, it's a tax. And they tried and they used maneuvering and everything to call it interstate, trying to use the interstate compact.
And correct me if I'm wrong with Obamacare, because I was around when this guy was president when that dropped, when he did it. To basically afford Obamacare, they had to basically increase the taxes on the middle class and the rich, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was already going to be a doomed policy when it came to actually reducing healthcare costs, because those that it ended up getting people on it, the young people were a lot of the young people were just saying, you want to know what? I'm not going to pay for healthcare. I'll just pay the fine. And so that's not going to cover what they need, which is your pre-existing condition and your elderly that use the bulk of the funds. It's the young and the healthy that pay to support the other people.
The other day, his running mate, J.D. Vance, you got to vote. The other day, his running mate had the nerve to say Donald Trump salvaged the Affordable Care Act.
Notice how he doesn't call it Obamacare?
Yep.
Donald Trump spent his entire presidency trying to tear it down. And by the way, he couldn't even do that right. And
because of John fucking McCain.
Yeah.
With his personal gripe and personal hatred of Trump. He was the deciding
John
vote.
McCain literally on his last act before going to hell forever was like, oh yeah, we stuck you guys with the Affordable Care Act, and then high five Chuck Schumer on the way out.
And keep in mind, that guy was almost if Obama wasn't running in that year, that guy could have been president. Holy crap, man.
That's honestly the only thing that's be like, look, I voted for Obama both times too, but I look back at it and I was like, well, what was my other option? Like John McCain and Mitt Romney, right?
Mitt Romney.
The Mormon and the scumbag. So the only other option would have just been like, I could have just wasted a vote on Ron Paul, just call it a day. But that's really what it comes down to. So I mean, it's like, yeah. Like I said, it's a dog and pony show at the end of the day, so whatever.
Oh, God.
8 years after he was elected, when he was asked about what he was going to do, he says he's got concepts of a plan for how he'd replace it. Now, I want you all to think about this for a second. Let's say your boss gives you an assignment, a project. He says, I need this on Friday. And Friday comes around and he says, so, did you finish that project I asked for? And he says, well, I actually haven't started, but I have a concept of a plan.
Could you pause it for a second?
Let's say you had a sexual relationship with a man, and before anyone can expose that sexual relationship that you had with the man, your chick just happens to die, and just mysteriously, and no one seems to ask any questions about how or why, or it's like what your relationship was with him, because you guys seem pretty close. Now he's dead, and it's just kind of weird how this whole thing happened, right?
Well, overall, I mean, and him, okay, so this entire line of attack. For one thing, Trump is not in office, so he's not currently employed in a position. So he can say he has a concept of a plan, and he's fine. Kamala Harris and all of her plans, she is the sitting vice president and could be enacting this stuff, and all she has is a concept of a plan.
Yep. literally running around with a concept of a plan.
Yeah. Unburdened by what has been.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could try it at home. Honey, did you do the dishes? I have a concept of a plan to do the dishes.
Now, let's say after your chef dies, all of a sudden you get a call from the FBI that says that, hey, P. Diddy took a tape of you that one time you went to one of his parties, and we may want to go raid his house to obtain that tape, or this whole thing can get blown out of the water.
This is the thing. This guy is sitting here making fun of Trump and Vance, saying that they have concepts of a plan. This guy's supposed to be promoting Kamala Harris's plan to you at their own rally, and he's not telling you shit about what they're doing. He's just, oh well, they got nothing. Well, what do they have?
I would say this is the worst roast of Trump and Vance I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit!
Like, he's literally like hoping that TDS fuels like the laugh from his little shtick here.
Yeah.
If it wouldn't work for you, why in the heck should it work for the President of the United States?
I don't know about you, but that crowd behind Barack there seems pretty white. Less diverse than I've been seeing at Trump campaigns.
A lot of honkies in here. Just saying.
And not only that, but I mean, we really are kind of, with all the crap going on with this election, we've all just kind of ignored the elephant in the room. Is this, like, in face value, Kamala Harris has literally snuck herself to being one step away from being president in the United States, and not a single person has ever voted for this woman ever. Keep this in mind. Last time around in 2020, she got absolutely crushed in the Democratic National Convention, got crushed by Tulsi Gabbard, of all people. Tulsi Gabbard knocked her out of the race back in 2020. So that was back happened then. Then Biden just so happened to pick her to be the vice president because we need diversity. So now all of a sudden she's a vice president of the United States in an election that was fortified because, we can't say the other thing here on YouTube. But then you go over a few years later, and Biden was the one who was running for re-election. So all the Democrats vote for Biden, and then Biden just drops out of the race about a month after being confirmed as the nominee. And all of a sudden, oh, guess what? Kamala Harris is now your nominee. No one has ever actually voted for Kamala Harris to get in this position that she's in right now. Not a single person, Democrat or Republican. And here we are.
Society, you got to abandon democracy to save democracy.
Oh, okay. So we have to fortify the election and abandon democracy to save it. Got it.
Yep.
Kamala Harris, she doesn't have concepts for a plan. She has an actual plan to make your life better.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay, Brock,
she shouldn't need an actual plan because she's already the vice president of the United States.
What was her plan when being Biden's running mate? Anybody remember that? No, we don't, because no one remembers why she was there to begin with.
Like I said,
had a woman there.
Things are so bad that they can't. The Democrats who are in control right now cannot run on the platform of we're just going to keep doing the same thing we've been doing for the last 4 years because it's working out so great. Why wouldn't we just keep doing the same thing we're doing? Why would we need to change it? Why do we need a plan? Everything's going great. Why would we change anything?
Well, the whole point, Kamala went on The View, and they gave her a layup of what would you have done different over the last 4 years, and her response was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Young says, if Kamala has a plan, where's it been over the past 4 years? Exactly. Any idea what the role of VP actually has? Doesn't appear so. What do you think a vice president does? I've been saying that since I was younger. What does this person do? This is just an advice. Oh my God. This is the lady that people are going to be both be president. Look at this. Oh my God.
That should be disqualifying in itself.
Lady has pronouns. You can't make this shit up. Bigger question. I haven't heard her plan for the next 4 years. She avoids answering those questions.
There she goes.
She says her plan every time. You must not be listening. I don't speak word salad.
Yeah, exactly.
P.S. You're not woke yet. Oh, you only watch Fox. If you want to know who you are voting for, watch on Tucker Carlson Network.
I'm sorry, just real quick. the whole you must watch Fox News. That's such a 2016, and who still uses that in 2024? Oh, you must watch Hannity and Combs. It's like, who's still doing this?
Are you purposefully not wanting to know because she's already stated them? She did state one. She stated the censorship one. I know that for sure.
I know she has
the first one.
I know they have a plan to tax people on unrealized gains, which means that they're going to tax you on money you haven't even technically earned yet.
That's just ultimate butt fucking right there.
Yep.
Holy shit. Oh god. Imagine taxing people on money they don't even own. That's just not hell.
We're gonna tax you on the money that you're projected to make. Like, you haven't even actually made the money yet, but we're already taxing you on it.
You have
Yep,
1
they're
million
going to tax you on
followers and
unrealized gains, and let's say the unrealized gains stocks go up. Then all of a sudden, when stocks come crashing down, you don't get that money back.
Nope. You just got jack.
Yep. You want to? I mean, it just completely proves that taxation is theft.
Yep.
You have 1 million followers, and yet you cannot keep yourself informed. You're just out here misinformed and spreading that ignorance. I hate when people say you're spreading ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Kamala
This
Harris
is the person who's probably voting for Harris because she got endorsed by Billie Eilish, calling you misinformed.
No, she looked like a Swiftie. Well, it's I've lost my train of thought. Never mind.
The plan has been hiding under Sleepy Joe's mattress. She couldn't get to it because he would never roll over and be dead. Now that she's finally rolled him off the bed, I can't find a plan. Maybe the dog commander ate it. Why not? The kids use that excuse at school. Okay.
What schmuck.
She's not the president. She was and is the vice president. She doesn't policy. English, please. It's not her administration.
She's just the vice president. She has no power. So stop blaming her for her own administration.
Oh, God.
She's literally a heart attack or a brain aneurysm away from being president of the United States, but she has no power in government, people.
Well, isn't it always the Biden-Harris administration?
Mm-hmm.
Every single time they ever talk about it, it's the Biden.
No, you don't understand. Harris is just the person who sits in the room and takes notes. She doesn't actually have any real power.
Oh, she's a secretary. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
She
just sits there in the corner doodling while all the real work's going on in the room.
By Mrs. Fuck, why am I blanking on their name now? Mrs. Biden, because supposedly she's the one that's been sitting in and leading all the meetings.
Of course she has.
Joe sits in the corner.
They're literally, keep in mind, like, with Joe Biden and Jill, she's literally doing what they accused Ronald Reagan of being like in the last years of his presidency. It's like, we're literally seeing that right now. Like, his wife is basically controlling the husband because husband's brain is basically pancake batter at this point.
Oh, gosh. Barack Obama is happily leading black people over the cliff, and black people are eating it up. Now it is clear why the black community is in such dire straits.
Mm-hmm.
Dream bigger than a black woman. President committing. What the fuck? Who wrote that?
Oh, yeah, because Kamala Harris won't come out and condemn Israel, so she's also responsible for genocide, even though she has no power and this is not any of her policies.
God, not all of us buy the garbage that Obama is selling. This is the third time I will be voting for Trump. DJT is a good man. Look at his children. He loves his country. It doesn't want it to be lost. Wars, communism, globalists, and sheer stupidity.
Did you see that, Queen?
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump is a dangerous, pathological liar and complains mainly about everything, but specifically about rhinos. He is the most rhino of all times. Doesn't have any values of real Republicans. Democrats confront him about that. GOP, just open your eyes. Trump, the real rhino.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, but I disagree. I think the black people are way smarter than to fall for this. That's okay.
Okay.
All right. That's a crock of shit. Okay. I think it's the people with white guilt, and they
black people still think that Tupac was a thug. Like, what more do you need to say after that?
Aren't black people the ones committing most of the gun violence? I'm just pointing out. I wouldn't harp on them as the most intelligent race.
Well, I mean, you know, the illegal gun violence, the legal gun violence is a different issue all in itself.
As a black man, I would say this to President Obama: I got 99 problems, but a bitch named Kamala ain't one. Okay. All right. Good gosh, man.
Yep, that is just where we're at now as a country.
Our former black president is now just using race politics to get people to vote for Kamala Harris. It's actually just disgusting, honestly.
In all honesty, he was using race politics back when he ran in 2008.
Yeah. Give me one moment here. All right. So, as you guys know, we're going to check on something that has definitely died at the box office. Joker 2. Joker 2 earned $2.2 million yesterday, a 90% drop from its domestic opening last Friday. And domestic, guess what it opened? Domestically, it opened to $37 million domestically. Internationally, it did like 77 million, honestly. But domestically, it was pretty much a flop. It made $1 million less opening day domestically than the Marvels did. The film might have the highest box office drop for a comic book movie ever this weekend. Not just for comic book movies. This might be the biggest second weekend drop off for a movie ever, honestly.
Morbius is beating it.
Yes. Yes. Woo! My boy Morbius W's.
Morbius literally waited all its life for this moment.
As someone who's watched the movie, I don't know if we're ever gonna do an open spoiler for it. If I can get the people.
I mean, we might as well. Clearly, no one's watching this movie, so I don't think anyone cares about spoilers at this point.
Well, when do you want to do it? Just let me know when you want to do it, and we set it up. Because I'll talk about it. I'll do it. This movie is a complete failure.
Spoiler alert! Joker gets booty gooned by the cops and then becomes an emotional wreck and then dies.
Or he gets brutally beaten because they shower him and brutally beat him, and that makes him.
And they took him to a Diddy party in the shower, and then just left him
allegedly
out there without his pants.
You know what's crazy? Wikipedia said they brutally raped him, and then if you go and check it now, it's the brutally raped part is not there. I made sure to spoil because that scene got spoiled to me, and I didn't care either way. So I went to Wikipedia because they usually have the entire movie's plot there, 2 days in advance before it's out.
Now they're saying, oh, he was only brutally assaulted. They didn't booty goon him, even though the very next scene they literally carry him out in his drawers. It's like, why did they need to strip him in order to beat him? It's like they could have just beat him in the suit.
Oh, from the other one that I heard, allegedly they stripped him down and beat him while he was naked while giving him a shower. But even if they,
okay, but why did they have to do that?
Why? Hypothetically, let's just say they did that. Why? Mm-hmm. That's still stupid. That's just dumb. Why not just?
Like I said, you could have just pulled out your billy clubs and beat the crap out of him in his suit, and it would have the exact same effect. You didn't need to strip him naked. So the only reason why you would do that if you were implying something else happened.
Yeah, because I'll be honest here, man. When I was watching it and that scene came on, because I knew it was coming, I was like, damn, we actually got to get to the scene. The movie just gets even more disgusting after that. Like I honestly couldn't even look at the film the same way after that happened. I was like, they're implying he got raped, but I guess he didn't, based off of
And then he's literally face down in his bed crying like he just got raped. Like he's not motioning in pain like someone who just got the crap beat out of him or anything. Like he doesn't have any black eyes. Like he isn't coughing up blood. He's not sore and uncomfortable because everything hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. Remember, people say he got brutally beaten. But he wasn't shown to be brutally beaten though. So what happened?
It's dude, we've seen people get packed out on videotapes on Twitter where dudes get jumped by 6 people and then they pick him up afterwards. He's all beat up. It's that's not what happened with Joker at all.
Yeah. So if he didn't get raped, he didn't get beaten up, then what happened? Because even that's stupid that a controversial scene like that can't even imply to you what happened. Keep in mind, because that he was getting dragged by the guards. Well, his underwear didn't have blood in it from getting raped, No. He also, his clothes were still intact. So they took his clothes off to give him a shower to beat him with batons.
And then he was so emotionally distraught from his beating that he literally gave up being the Joker. Like, really, at that moment, like, was never the Joker again after that moment.
God, like, I don't even know if it was great either, because the scene doesn't imply it. It's kind of like, oh, because he said take your underwear off, but like they're in the shower.
Like literally the very next scene is just like, I don't want to be Joker anymore. I'm just Arthur.
Oh God, man, I can't wait to spoil this movie. Whenever you have time to do it. What are you free tomorrow? No, you have this Bible Lens podcast.
Yeah, probably won't be until Monday.
Oh, Monday. Are you free on Wednesday?
No, Wednesday I have the 01 with Bounty in the Comics.
Okay. We'll probably try to do it. You want to do it early Tuesday?
How early? Because I have to borrow him on Tuesday, remember?
Oh no, early Tuesday. I have Tuesday off, so we could do it like. Damn.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
My time. Would 10 a.m. my time work? So that's
because that's one. I'm gonna work during that time period. Like I said, the next available day that I would have would be either Monday, or I wouldn't have another available day until like late Tuesday. I mean, not late Tuesday, late Thursday. I meant to say.
Okay, Monday can work. I think let me see when I have that one-on-one. I'll just push the Monday show a little bit back, just a tiny bit. Let me just give it one second. Let me see when I have that. Emerald has died, guys. He left me.
No, I'm still here.
He's white for a reason. Okay, so Monday it's 5:30 PST from Mr. Fish. So what time works for you? You said because on Monday I get off at 4. Oh no, I don't. Unless you want to do it at like 7, but I had the main show then. So goddamn. Actually, yeah, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard getting this in.
We can just turn your main show into a Joker spoiler discussion.
You're right.
I have no, and yeah, Monday's show can be that open spoiler. I don't mind. I can make comments and stuff like that, even though I haven't seen it.
Oh,
I can make absurd comments.
So Monday, do you want to come on at 7 to just do the open spoiler then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it Monday then. Because I was going to tell people there were some scenes in the movie I liked. There were some scenes there I did personally enjoy, but God, was Lady Gaga, yikes. Acting
that's not what you've been saying backstage. You said you love Lady Gaga.
Music.
He said that he loves Lady Gaga because he thought Lady Gaga had a dick. But that was the only key difference.
Oh, it's not Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God! So have you guys seen this whole debacle from last night? So this was it was a preseason game between the Kings and the Warriors, right? So Sam Mitchell, former NBA player, former NBA coach, was doing the coverage for NBA TV, and he gets into a live on-air argument with his co-host because his co-host made some kind of like remark about, his pay or whatnot, and the dude just completely crashes out like live on television, goes as far to dox his co-host live on the air, gives out his address for everyone. This is what led to the whole incident here.
Hey Sam, what do you think about the fact that Steve Kerr doesn't get head coach?
Yeah, I saw that. The coaches don't get medals. I guess it just tells you what international how they value coaches. Not at all.
I'm surprised.
How the coaches don't get a gold medal?
I'm surprised coaches get a paycheck for this show. I think like maybe you should do this pro bono, my friend.
Last time I looked at my check, it's pretty close. So hey, I'm taking donations. Why don't you come up off some of that money you got since you're over there bragging about it?
I'm not bragging about it.
Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you rent your beach house out down in Florida during the hurricane? Or do I need to go on? How about your townhouse over in Buckhead?
Hey, what's going on here, Sam?
You want to call me out? I mean, come on. You screaming broke and hungry. Let's just see it. I know.
I'll even tell the people your passcode.
I think we have snitches on the show today.
No, we don't have snitches. We have
Sam
truth tellers.
Mitchell.
We have truth tellers. So you're the one who crying poor and destitute up here. When do I need to keep going on further, more and more? Or do you want me to stop right now?
Go to this game between the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors.
You're going to stop messing with me on national TV. I done told you about that. Hey, do I need to give out the address? Because you're not at home right now.
Look at this. A game in Seattle,
yes.
Sam.
I missed that place. They should still have an NBA team.
Oh my God. I'm just pointing out, that is the most awkward post-game analyst desk I've ever seen. Oh my god.
So basically, the dude made a joke, and then he just got up there completely butthurt over it, refused to move on from it whatsoever. And then there was a second clip that I was trying to find also, where he basically just straight out gives away the guy's address, like on the air, right? So then what happened was, because I'm pretty sure that someone on the network was like, you better fix this or we're going to get rid of both of you. So what they did is that earlier today, they put out a little video on Instagram where they pulled up to Sam's house and they were all trying to, see, it was just all big one joke and everything's cool, people. It was like, if you don't clean up this mess right now, both of you guys are going to be fucking unemployed. Like, what the, it's not, the season hasn't even started yet. And you guys are already on this foolishness going on behind the scenes. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you people? And Sam Mitchell, who obviously is insecure about how much money he's getting paid by the network, decided to literally go at his co-host's throat live on the air and then dox his home address because he was butthurt over a joke during the preseason. This is preseason. The games don't even count yet, and they're already getting butthurt. Can you believe this?
Could you imagine the analyst desk for the NBA when it comes back? Because it comes back this month, right? It comes back the end of not this week.
Yeah, I mean the season starts in like 2 weeks. So
I'm almost thinking
I'm
almost thinking his co-host is gonna have a pistol just taped underneath the desk going forward.
Oh yeah, because little butthurt Sam Mitchell gave out his real address on air because he was all up in his feelings.
NBA start date this season, preseason. Okay, so people say preseason. I don't really care for preseason, honestly.
Yeah, the NBA, the season starts, I believe it's on the 22nd is when the season starts. So we're like a week and a half away from like the actual season started. Because there's only like 4 preseason games this season for the NBA until the real season starts. So.
Yeah, dude, you remember how they were playing like 10, 20 preseason games a long time? I was like, nah, no one can. Preseason is nothing. It's always been nothing.
You can't get these players to play in the regular season anymore. It's like we have this thing called load management now where it's like, I don't want to play all 82 games and I'm getting $30-60 million a year to play. Like, can I play like 48? Can I play like something like 48, 45 games? I don't want to play all the games. It's like this is what games come to.
October 22nd, Tuesday. So basically a week after my YouTube anniversary is when it starts. So as you guys know, I will be watching the NBA a whole lot more this year. And we're going to be doing basically NBA centric MSK shows. If anyone wants to watch basketball, let me know. We can maybe schedule a day where we talk about the games and everything. But I want to make sure I'm planning this right now in advance. That way it's not just like out of left field, right? And the Lakers are going to win a championship. Woo! Can't wait for it, boys.
Yeah, we're going to win another in-season tournament. Yeah. Oh my God. So the Lakers is another shit show we need to talk about here for a second. For guys who don't know, LeBron James got his son drafted to the Lakers because he has this dream that he wants to play an NBA game with his son on his team. And they drafted him like 56 or something like that with the second round pick. This kid is clearly not ready to play in the NBA. He's barely good enough to even play in the Pac-12 where he was at last year at USC. But they drafted him because it's all about LeBron and his ego. So this kid's been playing in the summer league. He's been playing in the preseason. And he literally has like all-time worst preseason numbers like right now. As a matter of fact, I have to pull up his actual stat sheet because there was an old joke.
Worse than Caitlin Clark. That's saying something.
So here is his real numbers. These are real numbers. I'm not making any of this up. And here's his numbers in the preseason so far. He's averaging 0.7 points per game, so not even a full point per game. He's averaging 1 rebound and 0.3 assists per game. By the way, another stat that's not on here, he's actually, his plus minus is minus 40, which is the worst of any player in the entire preseason right now. And he's shooting 9% from the field. And this kid, they've already announced that he's going to be playing opening night against, I believe they're playing the Mavericks opening night, just so LeBron James can share the court with his son on the first game of the season.
And they're doing this, so for anyone who's a Lakers fan, probably not many of those now these days, probably, right? Lakers have a lot of fans, as you guys know.
I mean, bro, this dude's not even averaging a triple single.
Dude, I'm not lying. Caitlin Clark is better than LeBron James' son. It shouldn't be debatable. If you watch them play, Caitlin Clark is better.
Dude, there's several WNBA players who are better than LeBron James. He can't play. So,
The fact that he's worse, that's why I said you could literally draft Caitlin Clark for the Lakers and she'd be more of an asset to the Lakers than his fucking son. Now, to be fair, I will say this. I don't blame his son for wanting to play with his dad. His dad probably was a huge inspiration to him winning those trophies. I can understand it. But bro, like if LeBron is serious about winning a title with the Lakers, obviously not the COVID, the certain virus one, this man would literally have to want to play with a player that can obviously elevate the team and, like be someone that could be a force to carry the game with him. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be his son. Guys, I'm being honest here. When they play him and they lose, he's getting benched probably most of the season. He'll be subbed in for like those games where even if you win them, it won't matter because it won't have implications for if you made playoffs or not. He'll probably just play those, honestly. Like, I believe if he plays and they lose, they're going to blame it on him. Then he won't be playing anymore. And then when they do kind of pick it up and they lock playoffs, potentially if they make playoffs, they'll give him the games where it won't matter if they lose or win, honestly. That's my...
Here's what they're going to end up doing. They're going to play him on opening night because they figure, okay,
it's ratings, night,
it's the first game
everyone watches
ratings.
Week 1. Yeah, week 1. Yeah.
The first game in the night really doesn't mean anything. We can throw that game and it's not going to really mean anything. Once LeBron gets his little moment with his son and we all pretend like it's history and it's amazing, they're going to immediately send this dude to the G League and he's going to stay in the G League until the entire season is up. And then depending on if LeBron decides that he's going to call it quits after this season or play one more year, that's when they'll make the decision of cutting LeBron James, because everyone and their mother knows that he's not good enough to play basketball on a professional level. He wasn't even good enough on a collegiate level. You look at his numbers at USC, I believe he was only averaging 4 points a game or a couple of rebounds. It was like he's not good. He's literally only there. Like LeBron James has not only let his ego destroy his relationship with his son, but he is taking down one of the most storied franchises in the NBA history. Literally, it's only the Lakers and the Celtics. Those are the only two options. And this guy has chased everyone away. He wonders why no one wanted to play with him. The free agents wanted to play in LA this year because they knew they were going to be under him, under that clown show. He drafted his untalented son to be on the team and got a guaranteed contract. And then he got his podcast host to be the new coach of the Lakers. And this guy's doing all this because in his mind, he thinks that he's the greatest of all time. And he's trying to cement his legacy to be the greatest player. He told his son, Bronny, after he got drafted, that you're not allowed to call me dad anymore. You have to refer to me as GOAT. He literally wants his son to refer to him as GOAT.
Seems like a little authoritarian there, LeBron.
Sounds a little bit narcissistic to me.
Mm-hmm. By the way, LeBron.
So the Lakers preseason is the 15th. They face the Warriors, but if you're talking about the actual season, they're going to face the Timberwolves. So if they throw them in against the Timberwolves, let's be honest here, it's probably not going to mean anything in the grand scheme of things if they lose that game. I guarantee you, if they start like 0-4 with him, they're benching him for the entire season. They're not playing. The fact that he wouldn't get play time is honestly crazy. I'd imagine there's people better than this kid on their bench. I'm not kidding, guys. That one guy, the one lady on the Dallas Wings, probably their best scorer. I forgot her name. She's probably better than him.
The Lakers legitimately have several players on their practice squad who has better numbers in the preseason than Bronny James does. It's just even the guy in the post said that the dude's not even averaging points; he's averaging decimals. That's how bad he is.
Yeah, he's only playing because of nepotism, because LeBron pulled some strings and got him on the team. I thought he was just going to be like their backup. No, he's going to be on the actual team. And this org is the second now most winningest or whatever, because the Celtics won their 18th title. Their only aspiration should be we win trophies and that's it. No, we're going to be sacking our season to give LeBron his little nepotism fucking thing.
So we're essentially the Lakers, the team that's won 16 championships. We're going to essentially agree to be the 9th seed in the Western Conference and get bounced out by the Denver Nuggets in the first round again.
You're so nice. 9th seed. They might not even make playoffs if he's playing that bad. If he plays that bad, they might not make playoffs, honestly. They might actually they might honestly only win 3 games with that guy.
Hey, you want to know what? The Lakers need a bench warmer.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he's probably not even qualified to be the water boy. Like, he's probably not even qualified to be the guy that gives the real players the Gatorade in between the games. That's how bad this kid is.
He's going to transition and become part of the WNBA next season.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, him versus Caitlin Clark will be a massive boost in ratings. I'm calling it right now. I want that manifested. Caitlin Clark versus Bronny James. Let's make it happen. Please. Got to spice it up, boys. Let's go. All right, so the first games, Lakers. If you're a Lakers fan like myself, Timberwolves, Suns, Kings. That's preseason. Sorry. Almost something wrong. Yeah, Timberwolves, Suns, Kings. So,
and it's like they can't put Bronny out there against real NBA players. They just can't. Like, they're gonna have to really pick their spot where they're gonna play him. Because I mean, like Minnesota, I get it. They were in the Western Conference Finals last year, but I mean, they're not really that great of a team. They got a couple of good players, and that's pretty much it. You can't put Bronny out there against like Boston or New York or Denver or somebody like that. Like, he's going to get killed. Like, he's going to get.
What's the Lakers' record in these past 2 years against Denver? Isn't it like 2-8?
I think in the playoffs the last few years they've been like 1-8 in the playoffs because they lost last year. I think it was like 5 games they lost last year. The year before that they got swept.
Hey,
and 2023 was 4-0, and then last year was.
Hey, you want to know what? To be perfectly honest, though, LeBron's son being able to be drafted gives me hope that I could actually be on the in an NBA team. Okay, that I now have representation. I can see myself as a player.
People are black people. Emerald, what's the representation? They're all black.
Here's the thing. With those numbers, we could legitimately play better than LeBron and James. Like, if we just score a free throw, one free throw, we would average more points than Bronny James in the preseason.
That's what I mean. That's how bad I am. I mean, I had a chance at an NBA career, except for I suck and I'm white. So, I mean, come on. I can at least, based on stats, I mean, I see myself now represented in the NBA.
There was a video, and I hope I can find the guys because the video is hilarious. He's just breaking down like what an absolutely god-awful player Bronny James is. And it's just like, it's literally like watching like a little league coach yell at like a group of players because he bet on one of them on the game and he's realizing he's losing like hundreds of dollars. Like, it's just like, you just watch him and it's just like, who put this dude on? Okay, here it is. I'll play a little bit of this. It's like, who put this dude on the team? It's like, oh yeah, his dad put him on
we can't
the
play.
team.
Nope. Oh, we forgot. We can't play footage from them. They blocked that stuff.
What, awful coaching because you can't play anything from them?
Anything that shows the NBA at all gets blocked.
Great. Thanks, Dix. Especially now, they probably really don't want people like pointing out how terrible of a player Bronny James is, especially when they're trying to gaslight you. That no, he earned his place on the team.
Michael says, bit frustrating, WZ. Lots of political things to deliver, but I'm getting a lot of help this year so far. Oh, I forgot Michael's a postman. Oh, you said you have a partner now, so you can have a lot more help on that. So go look at that, man. WZ's
awesome. I unfortunately live in a state that's been mail-in voting before the human mail virus that occurred, or COVID, or beer bug, or whatever you want to call it. So I received my mail-in ballot on Friday because I'm stuck I'm stuck voting by mail because we no longer have any actual polling locations to go and vote.
Yay!
We can vote. Good God. The Lakers on their Twitter account are always posting just like, well, currently they posted LeBron doing some practice and everything. I mean, are they going to win a trophy this year, guys? Celtics are probably just going to, repeat win, but who knows? Maybe the Mavericks are going to win with Klay Thompson now.
I mean, Thompson's trash too, for being completely honest with ourselves. But no, I mean, the way that I see it is this. I mean, the Celtics are probably the favorite to repeat this season. Like, they have the most complete team out of anybody else in the NBA. Oklahoma City is young. They're good, but we have to see if they can actually like win where it actually counts, like in May, before we can really give them any deal there. And outside of that, you just got a bunch of teams that have a bunch of hype. I mean, like I said, the Knicks got a bunch of hype because they're the Knicks. I mean, Denver probably still there because of Jokic, but I mean, outside of that, it's like, it's really just Boston and Oklahoma City from the two teams that I can see that got a legitimate shot of winning a title this year. And then you have LeBron's kid, who's probably going to be, 10th in the Western Conference this year, because that's how basketball is now. We have 10th seeds in basketball.
I would not. I would laugh my ass off if the Lakers don't even make the playoffs this year.
They might not. I mean, look, they haven't been very good for like a while. It's like the last few years, because LeBron, he's 40 years old, so he has to load manage half his games. So he doesn't even actually show up for half his games that they play, especially on the road. And then as a result of that, they've been like sub 500 and just barely got in. And then they have to like barely win during the play-in games. And they end up, like I said, running into Denver in the first round and getting knocked out to the point where it's like, okay, you guys might as well just not showing up.
What else is there? Shoot. That's the thing is, oh, wait a minute. Fucking hell. Didn't they fire another person on ESPN a while ago?
Which one? Because there's been a couple of stories about that.
I was gonna say.
Oh my god, there was a recent one. They fired. Oh, fucking, I forgot which one it was, but I know they made some massive firings recently that brought in some controversy. I can't remember sports teams to save my life sometimes. I'll be fucking honest. It all just blend together at a single point at this right now.
Well, I'll have to address that first point here in a second. But no, as far as like ESPN, it's kind of a crap show because a couple of guys have left recently because Pat McAfee is essentially slowly taking over the network. Like, what's his name? Adrian Wojnarowski, who's the guy who was like the big NBA analyst for the last several years. He just quit and stepped down because when Pat McAfee went to war with that ESPN executive who later stepped down a few months later, that pretty much cleared up the space for him to kind of take over control of the network for the most part and bring like his guys in. So once they realized that Pat was getting more, power in the network, he left. And then after he left, Michael Wilbon took a shot at Pat McAfee because it's like, oh, this guy gets to say whatever he wants on his shows, but I can't say that over here because I might get fired. Then Stephen A. Smith is over here whining and complaining because he's not getting paid as much as Pat McAfee. So he just went and hired Cam Newton, who just came over from his little YouTube channel. So there's a lot of things going on at ESPN in the moment because they're basically trying to salvage whatever audience that they have left, because they can't admit to the fact that the reason why you spent the last 15 years driving everyone away, because one, you refuse to focus on sports, even though you're ESPN. Two, your personalities are horrific. Nobody wants to watch Jamil Hill or Sarah Spain.
The one white lady
is Smith.
They have that one white lady direct the conversation, and it's just so cringe. It's because they're trying to force a woman to be there so hard. They're like, we can give a woman a seat at our table. No, you don't. If they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, they don't have to be there.
And now ESPN is leading the charge here on having female announcers on like all the games, no matter what the sport is. So it's like you watch baseball, female announcers. You watch college football, female announcers. You watch hockey, female announcers. It's like, why? None of these people have actually played the sport. They offer nothing to like. Here's the thing. Well, you used to have like, okay, well, you're at these analysts or these commentators. They used to be people who were either very good at calling the game, like they had the voice for it, they had the charisma for it, or they were former players who could understand the game better than anyone else could. So you can get like a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning or somebody like that who knows the sport that they're calling to give their insight and their commentary on the game. Now you're just hiring women for the sole purpose of, we just need women representation in the sports games. So now you have women calling baseball games who are absolutely terrible at all sides of their job. Like there was this one woman that made a horrific home run call live on an ESPN broadcast earlier this year. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm like a viewer watching now, I now have to watch ESPN on mute because I can't listen to the commentary of the games anymore.
When they got a home run, did she yell out, "Goal"? Is that bad?
Oh man, I'll have to find it. It was pretty like rotten. Like this woman announcer, it's like, well, why would we do this? Why are we doing these things? And then they ask themselves, oh, why are you guys losing so many viewers? Yeah, I wonder what happened. I wonder why all these people are doing this. It's like, guys, pay attention to what's happening on the other. They just canceled Around the Horn. That's another one that I forgot to mention too. You're talking about what's going on ESPN. Around the Horn, which I believe started in 2002 or 2003, where Max Kellerman was the host for the first few years. And the idea was like, okay, let's take the top sports columnists in the world, like LA, Chicago, Boston, and put them on a show to kind of give their opinion and insight on like sports going on in the country. And it was a great format for the first few years. Max tried to do his own show, so he left after the first 2 years. They brought in Tony Reali, but it was still a decent show. And then what's happened is over the last decade, it's no longer like legitimate like reporters that give their opinions. It's like these BuzzFeed Deadspin writers who are all talking about, well, let me talk about Black Lives Matter, or let me talk about women in sports and sexism. And it's like, dude, nobody wants to hear any of this.
That's my problem with. I don't hate women. I actually like women a lot. I love when women do awesome things, but the need to shove women into everything just because people have this need and affinity to just have women a part of something is so cringe. If girls are not interested because they're not interested, you don't have to force them into it. And then the girls that are knowledgeable in these fields, they don't even get the roles. Why can't the knowledgeable females get the roles? Oh, wait a minute. There are none because this stuff mostly catered towards dudes. But whatever, it's okay. Chloe, you want your number? Sure.
Yeah, that's the thing that you said.
What's this about? If you want to have sex, Chloe, just let me know. I have 9 inches and I'm good, honestly.
And now
you misread the ruler. Those were the centimeters.
No, I'm black. I get a cheat code for having a dick size. That's how that works.
Sure, keep telling yourself that.
Oh shit. All right, God, man. All right.
It's purely when it comes to the commentators and the women commentators, especially the ones that haven't even played the. Excuse me, a neighbor has their dog barking. The commentators. The whole point with commentators is the fact that it's purely DEI. That is just what it is. It's DEI. It's trying to do that. And the fact that men cannot have our own spaces anymore. They have to inject women into it. But heaven forbid men get injected into women's spaces. That's a no-no. We need to stop that. But oh, wait, nope. They're doing that already with all of the men going into women's sports.
Chloe said she's drunk right now. She can't type. Chloe, you're drunk. Oh my God. So you're drunk and hitting me up? Now. So Chloe, you're drunk and hitting me up? Yeah, a lot of women do that. Yeah, it's just what they want to do when they're drunk is talk to me. That's usually a thing. For now, I just attract like middle-aged white women, apparently. That's just my thing now. They just, I guess.
Yeah.
I hope they're good at sex. That's all I'll say. But yeah, I mean, for the Lakers, I hope for the best, honestly. You know, you can only just hope for the best, right? Do what Obama said. You hope for the best and you hope things get better, right? Good Lord, man. And we're going to wrap it up here in a little bit. I got to get some stuff done here because I got to get.
You want to play the terrible call real quick first, or
that from the MLB? Oh no! Oh my God! Nope. I'm gonna get
blocked. It was the MLB.
Give me 1 sec. I got to type this message. Just
he needs to try to riz on Chloe. He's got to type out a message.
Yeah, he thinks he got a shot.
No, it is just amazing that it's all the DEI and stuff like that that's just taking away anything that's been male centric and taking it away. And on top of that, taking away escapism and just in general, injecting politics into everything. Movies were supposed to be about escapism. Sports is supposed to be about escapism, not constantly have politics being thrown into our faces. And that's why, ESPN's losing viewers. That's why all these major sporting events are losing numbers, is because they're getting sick and tired of having the politics jumped and shoved down their throats. They want the escapism back. And the more that these leagues start to acknowledge that and realize that and start moving away from being political, the more the viewership will possibly return. Or people are just going to be like when it came to returning back to the theaters, they're just going to have changed their behaviors already that they just they don't miss it.
It's like, remember like listening to like the Sunday night baseball games when it was like, was it Joe Morgan and what's the other guy's name?
Boys, I'm gonna
can't
beat you in Dragon Ball. That sounds hot. Let's go. I can wait. Hold on. There's no black Super Saiyans. I can't go Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball.
Do you want to try to go Super Saiyan right now and try to see if you go viral like that other guy from 20 years ago?
Good lord. Oh, whatever happened to that guy? He's probably Super Saiyan 3 by now, or maybe all he's Ultra Instinct. Holy
He's
shit.
probably dead.
You can go Super
Probably
Saiyan on
dead.
your next season of the MSK show.
God. Next season, I'm Marvel Comics. I'm gonna reboot back to a number 1 very soon. Views are down, back to a number 1. That's how it's gonna go. Well,
I'm number 1. I'm number 1.
We had a great show tonight, you know, going over
Did
Mr. Former President Obama's concepts of a plan that he was going to tell you guys at this rally to promote Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, but ended up only talking about Donald Trump and bullshit about bringing people together. Now, mostly utilizing race bait politics to get you to vote for him.
So are you going to vote for him?
Obama, he's black. I would never vote for an animal. What the hell? So, Drunken Emerald, what you got planned coming up?
Not a whole lot. Just enjoying the rest of the weekend and getting ready for some NFL games tomorrow.
Hell yeah. How's your team doing?
Lions are not doing too bad this year. I mean, one loss so far. They had their bye week last weekend, and they're playing the Cowboys in Dallas tomorrow.
Just tell Chloe to go to bed. Chloe, go to bed.
I need the Vikings to freaking lose. I hate the Vikings, so that the Lions get a better chance at getting in there. The real game is going to be not this weekend, but next weekend, because next weekend will be the Vikings versus the Lions. So it'll be the showdown.
Yeah, well, here's I was thinking to myself, what is like the games for this week? So I haven't even checked at all. So tomorrow we have in London, we have Bears and Jaguars. So great, the Jaguars are playing another London game. Ooh, yay, that's gonna be so amazing. Got Cardinals and Packers, Colts and Titans, Texans and Patriots, Bucks and the Saints, Browns and the Eagles, Commanders and Ravens, Chargers, Broncos, Steelers, Raiders. I wonder who's going to win that game, not the Raiders. Lions and Cowboys, Falcons and Panthers. Sunday night is Bengals and oh my god, the Giants just kill me. And then Monday night is the Bills and the Jets.
Oh gosh. But do you guys know what also is not testing good right now? Captain America 4, apparently, even after all the reshoots and after all the rewrites, still not testing very well amongst the test.
No way. No way. Oh, that's embarrassing.
Hey,
that's
actually
embarrassing.
You see this? This is my shocked face.
Okay, apparently that's not going to count. I was going to say that would have been completely embarrassing. LSU had won the game in that fashion. But no, the Captain America movie, it's like they've already sunk in. We reported this like several months ago. They've already sunk in about $375 to $380 million into the reshoots at this very moment, and it's still testing poorly. You can't put any more money into this film. You can't delay this anymore. You've already reshot it twice. You can't reshoot it again. So you know what? You're just going to have to eat the bullet and release the crappy movie into theaters, knowing that it's going to be a disaster. At this point, you're already almost $400 million in the hole just on production alone.
Yeah, because the base budget for the film was already going to be $200 million.
Mm-hmm.
And
they almost doubled it.
Yeah. Constant reshoots.
I think after this reshoot,
three, and not just reshoots. They said extensive reshoots. That means they were basically dismantling the movie.
They straight up reshot the movie twice. It's like the latest one was basically we had to change the last 2/3 of the movie.
If they keep having to do these reshoots and everything and never get this movie out, they're going to have to recast Harrison Ford again.
Yeah,
for a different actor.
Harrison Ford's already going to be like 86 years old by the time Avengers comes out.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, that film. I only think how much money are they going to have to make just to break even on that movie? That's if that budget you're talking about at least $1 billion just to see a profit. Yep. And that's assuming you don't put any more money into it. You still have to market the movie, and the marketing budget for a Marvel is usually like
it's usually like 80, $100 million base.
No, that's way more. I mean, for a movie like this, it's usually somewhere about, I say, like 150, maybe 200, depending on the film.
Yeah. I was saying if you want to lowball it for a big blockbuster tentpole, it's usually like around 80 million. But for a Marvel movie, it's usually 100 million. So if your budget is $300 million after reshooting and 100 million for marketing, yeah, it needs $1 billion plus to make.
Well, the marketing for it's already started too, because they were already having previews of it before Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay, so I remember that. So if you want to know, if you already are affiliated in collaborations when you make a movie, like the McDonald's Captain America 4 promotion, those still have to come out. So McDonald's has already did their Captain America 4 promotion. So every place that was supposed to get it already got their promotional material. Like, what do you have now when the movie drops? Like, the marketing is going to be pretty much meh. Honestly, what are you gonna do? Advertise Captain America movie without Captain America in it? That's their goal? You know. Can't make a prequel comic to sell the movie because there's been no synergy there ever. So, I mean, well, I like I said before, I'll do the Obama thing. I'll just hope for the best, honestly.
It's going to be a disaster, and I mean that film. That's the whole idea. Nobody even really wants this movie. Like, no one is clamoring for a Black Captain America movie. It's one of those characters that they released in like the last 10 years that they gaslit everyone into believing was a popular character. That's not a popular character. So if this takes the same route that, let's say, the Marvels took, you're looking at what, $200 million worldwide when it's all said and done, and a loss is probably immeasurable for Disney when it's all said and done, because if they lost $300 million on the Marvels and Ant-Man 3 alone,
and Doctor Strange 2. Remember, apparently coming out now, the number for the budget and the marketing could be wrong for a lot of these big blockbuster tentpoles, because when their tax documents got released, some of them had even higher budgets than what the studio had said they had, even higher. So Doctor Strange 2 had a $400 million budget. That's not good.
Well, even if you even look at Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange got a little bit of a high rush because of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. The thing is Deadpool and Wolverine is a one-off. It's not going to positively affect anything else down the pipe.
You hope not.
I don't think
give me a Falcon movie. Yeah. They could have just gave you a Falcon movie, but no, they're going to give you a Captain America movie without Captain America. Also, his suit looks worse. I liked the blue suit he had in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I like that one he had. But no, now his suit's swapped out and uglier.
I heard a great description of it. He looks like a downhill skier.
All right. Okay. Oh, shit. You guys just ain't shit, honestly. But that's
and then don't forget, just real quick, we still have the Thunderbolts, which is basically the Marvel version of Suicide Squad that looks like complete ass as well. So yeah, you have that one to look forward to as well.
I thought the trailer didn't look that bad. I thought the trailer was fine.
Just if that's the best footage they can put together for a teaser for this movie, they got nothing. They have absolutely nothing for this movie.
That's the only one that I kind of have hope for. I'll be honest, I didn't mind the trailer. I thought it was actually fine. The only movie that I'm not super excited for is Captain America 4 and Fantastic Four also drops this year too. Remember? Fantastic Four comes out, and that's not going to have Silver Surfer. It's going to have the female version.
I heard you're really excited for Thunderbolts.
Are we?
Well, the trailer got me a lot more excited than I initially was going in. But like I said, that one I'll reserve a little judgment for. But like Fantastic Four with what's the name? Pedro Pascal, Reed Richards, like could have just got John Krasinski back.
You know what's sad? You know what's really sad? These nerds, these absolute dorks on the internet, have been craving for 25 years to get a proper Doctor Doom Fantastic Four movie. You know you're gonna get Robert Downey Jr. and Pedro Pascal. F you. We spent $70 billion on this, by the way.
Don't you just love Hollywood? Bleeding money, burning it. Why don't you guys go watch it? What?
How come they didn't like our crap? But we're great at crap.
I'm just enjoying the destruction that Hollywood is doing to themselves.
Mm-hmm. And, at a certain point, someone will come in and be like, hey, why are we making no money off this stuff? That like a lot of these studios are unlike Disney. Disney has the lifeline of the parks. Same with Universal. Like, so I'll give Disney credit and Universal credit for this. They did diversify their catalog enough to have a consistent revenue stream of money coming in from their parks, but Warner Brothers doesn't, Paramount doesn't. Lionsgate is just putting out L's constantly now. They're just, the L in Lionsgate is so ironic. All they can do is just drop L's. I feel so bad for them.
Disney
Holy
can't
shit.
rely on the parks anymore. Have you been seeing the attendance? They're raising prices again on tickets.
Really? I know that.
Well, the sad part is that, like, Disney, the reason why they have to, because guess what? We're in a position where, you know, the millennials and the Gen Z people are not really having kids. So there's no children to actually take to Disney anymore, which means that now we have to make money off of Disney adults who are 30-year-olds who are still living out their childhood fantasy, who are spending hundreds of dollars on little mouse ears. Complimentary mouse ears at the Disney parks. That's who they're really making their money on anymore. No one's taking their family of 5 to Disneyland anymore. Not in 2024.
Nope. But I gotta see Galaxy's Edge before they shut it down.
Watch modern Marvel movies or play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Whenever I get my new game system, then I'll play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I played all those games before. Tenkaichi, I played all of them before. People are claiming it's unbalanced. They've all been unbalanced. They've been unbalanced since they began. The fuck are you talking about?
I heard somebody say earlier today that it was so terrible. Remember when Gal Gadot did that whole Imagine thing during COVID and she was singing that song? Yeah. Somebody said that song was so bad I'd rather listen to my mother scream for help than listen to that song.
Good Lord, man. Give me one moment. And all right, society, you got anything planned coming up, actually? Let the audience know about?
Tomorrow night we'll be doing the next episode of The Bible Ends. We'll be talking about the people who attack quote unquote easy believism, who don't actually believe in Jesus. So that'll be our topic for tomorrow night. Tuesday we got the bar room, even though I don't know what the topics are going to be for Tuesday. And I think there will be a Friday night movie club this Friday, because we will be talking about there's a new Michael Keaton movie coming out this week, and there's a movie called Saturday Night, which is talking about the rise of Saturday Night Live in the 1970s. So before it became an utter abomination that we know it as today.
So back during the Kaufman and all of the classic, so it's the classic original cast.
Yep.
A lot of them that left, like the National Lampoon, to go and be on SNL.
Yeah, all the guys who were totally high on cocaine.
Yep.
Also, this Tuesday, coming up for everyone, we'll be celebrating my 9-year content creation anniversary. Gonna be trying to plan something big, but probably just, you know, chill with these clout chasing pieces of shit, honestly. God, I hate all of you. So what else are we going to be doing? I've been just uploading the Cloud9 podcast VODs to Rumble. I'm currently actually on season 6. I'm working my way through that. I have several Joker 2 videos to do. I know people like the videos I talk about the box office, but it's not that I don't want to. It's just, I've been so busy recently. I've just been so busy and tired. Oh my fucking God. But expect more consistent content coming out. My episode of Full Day of Going to the Movie Theater is on my computer now, so I'm going to edit that tonight. I just dropped a new comic book haul video on my comic channel. We are now 10 subscribers away from hitting 100 subscribers on that channel, so I'm happy about that. And I'm going to try and start the other channels. I know you guys want me to. It's just been, I got to manage my time better. I've gotten really bad with managing my time, so I'm going to try and make sure that's fixed before the end of the year, so that way I can get to these other things that I've been talking about.
It's almost as if someone told you not to stream every single day.
Oh damn, it's almost like listening to a black man. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm not Obama.
Yeah, we are taking Thursdays and Fridays off, depending on if I have one-on-ones, but that won't be as much as what we do normally. So the time should be the same as the usual Tuesday show. If I can get the one-on-ones done within about like an hour 10ish, then we can start the anniversary stream like early if people want. It just doesn't matter. We'll start at like 7:30, maybe 8. We'll try and start at 8. I know the usual Tuesday show is 8:30. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show, and we'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys later. Goodbye.